4 pricing strategies. There are 4 common pricing strategies. They are 1. Bundling, 2. Cost plus pricing, 3. Competitive pricing, and lastly 4. Penetration pricing. Let us look at each in depth. Let's begin with bundling. Bundling is a pricing strategy that combines a product and a service into a single unit for a discounted price that is less than the sum of the individual prices. For example, a farmer who lives far from your input shop does not have a vehicle to transport the seeds he purchased back to his farm. You may offer a bundled price for the seeds and delivery. This can be the difference between making the sale and having the customer find another retailer who offers delivery. The advantage of bundling is that it can move idle inventory. The disadvantage of bundling is that it risks unnecessary discounts. In the last example, the farmer might have been willing to pay full price for the seeds and full price for delivery. On to 2. Cost plus pricing. Cost plus pricing is a strategy where a business sets a selling price of a product by adding a markup to the production or acquisition cost. The markup is a percentage or fixed amount. Let's consider an example of cost plus pricing in the context of an agro-input retailer. Suppose an agro-input retailer sells a particular brand of fertilizer. To determine the price using cost plus pricing, the retailer would calculate the cost of acquiring the fertilizer from the supplier, which includes factors like the purchase price, transportation costs, and any other associated expenses. For instance, let's assume the retailer acquired a batch of fertilizer for $50 per bag and incurred an additional $5 per bag for transportation and handling costs. The retailer's total cost per bag would be $55. Now, let's say the retailer wants to apply a 20% markup on the cost to cover its desired profit margin. To calculate the selling price using cost plus pricing, the retailer would add the markup percentage to the cost. Markup is equals to cost multiplied by markup percentage. Markup is equals to $55 multiplied by 0.20, which is equals to $11. Therefore, the selling price would be selling price is equals to cost plus markup. Selling price is equals to $55 plus $11, which equals to $66. The advantage of cost plus pricing is that it is simple to calculate. The disadvantage of cost plus pricing is that it ignores customers' willingness to pay and competitors' pricing. Let's move to 3. Competitive pricing. Competitive pricing is a strategy where the business sets its price based on prices charged by competitors or the prevailing market rates. Consider an example of competitive pricing for a cooperative selling cocoa. The cooperative's goal is to maintain profitability while setting market competitive prices for its cocoa beans. The cooperative would first gather information about the current prices for cocoa beans on the market, taking into account factors like quality, variety, and where they came from. Additionally, they would analyze the pricing strategies of their competitors, which might include larger cocoa suppliers, local farmers, or other cooperatives. Let's say the cooperative discovers that $2,000 per metric ton is the market rate for cocoa beans of comparable quality and origin. To stay competitive, they could choose to value their cocoa beans somewhat below this market rate. Let's say they choose to offer a 5% discount on the market rate. To determine the selling price using competitive pricing, the cooperative would apply the discount to the market rate. Discount is equals to market rate multiplied by discount percentage. Therefore, discount is equals to $2,000 multiplied by 0.05, which is equals to $100. The selling price would be selling price is equals to market rate minus discount. Therefore, the selling price would be $2,000 minus $100, which equals to $1,900 per metric ton. By pricing their cocoa beans at $1,900 per metric ton, the cooperative aims to position themselves as a competitive option in the market. It is important for the cooperative to consider its cost structure, including production costs, labor expenses, processing costs, and other overhead costs to ensure the selling price allows for profitability. It is worth noting that competitive pricing may vary based on market conditions, changes in demand and supply, and other factors. The advantage of competitive pricing is that it is relatively low risk. The disadvantage of competitive pricing is that it ignores customer willingness to pay a higher price. Let's move to the last one: penetration pricing. Penetration pricing is a strategy in which a business sets the price of a product disruptively low in order to quickly gain market share, penetrate the market by attracting customers from its competitors. Consider an agro-input shop that begins selling a new line of organic fertilizers. The business aims to attract customers and quickly gain market share by setting a price below the market rate. Assume the current market price for organic fertilizers of comparable quality is $50 per bag. The agro-input shop decides to set an initial price that is much lower than the market rate. This is penetration pricing. They decide to price the organic fertilizer at $40 per bag, which represents a 20% discount compared to the market rate. By pricing the bag at $40, the agro-input shop hopes to attract price-sensitive customers and persuade them to switch from competitors. The advantage of penetration pricing is that it can quickly build market share. The disadvantage of penetration pricing is that it attracts customers who are not loyal once prices increase. We've come to the end of this topic. Now that you know about 4 pricing strategies, let's look at the next topic to consider whether it is a good idea to increase price or decrease price.